Good evening, everybody. This is Candace with Indianapolis Teaching Fellows. Thank you so much for joining us for this info session. So tonight, our goal is just to provide you with a high-level overview of the ITF program. We're not really going to get into a ton of specific details tonight, as the application and enrollment process really is uniquely tailored to every individual. So there may be some questions that apply specifically to you. Tonight is just going to be a really general overview to give you a feel for the program. So this is our agenda and what we'll cover this evening. We are going to just introduce you really quickly to the ITF team that you'll get to know the further you progress in the program. We'll cover some fast facts about Indianapolis Teaching Fellows. We will do just a brief overview again of the application process and eligibility. We'll talk about hiring. We'll talk about TNTP and our AmeriCorps partnership, as well as pre-service training. We'll give you a short program timeline and then touch base with next steps. So our staff team has two primary goals. First is that we want to create a warm and welcoming fellow experience. And one of our focuses is really helping our fellows care for themselves as educators. And then the second goal is developing your performance as a fellow, which basically is the training and proven techniques for strong classroom instruction. So the first ITF staff member that you'll meet is Dr. Eugene Pringle. He is our site director. He has a long career as a literacy advocate. He's worked in higher education as a researcher as well. He is responsible for driving the mission, vision, and scope of our work with Indianapolis Teaching Fellows. Next, we have Troy Smith. He works really closely with our fellows as an effectiveness coach, so helping them to build on their summer training during the first year of the program. So he does a lot of interfacing and in-person work with our fellows. He's also an ITF alum, so he has gone through the program himself. And then there's me, and my main role is to provide operational program support and with a specific focus on recruitment, onboarding, and relationship building with fellows. So that is our staff team. So you are probably here because you're asking the big question, what is ITF? So Indianapolis Teaching Fellows is an innovative teacher preparation and alternative certification program for recent college graduates and career changers. So in the state of Indiana, there is a requirement for anyone without a formal background in education to undergo a process called transition to teaching. And this basically means that it is an accelerated pathway to earning your professional license to teach in the state of Indiana. And that's what our program does. And we are one of 6 programs of our parent organization, TNTP. So the TNTP Teaching Fellows programs as a whole are distinct from other programs in the country, particularly through our focuses on culturally responsive teaching and anti-racism, as well as the hiring and coaching support that we provide to our fellows. Our training ensures essential skills and hands-on experience to make sure that fellows have a strong foundation to start in the classroom. So that's where we kind of focus. And then lastly, what you can expect as a fellow is to practice foundational classroom management and instructional techniques in the classroom, receiving direct feedback from experienced coaches, and then earning a graduate degree from Marian University through our program. And so that is one thing that I do want to highlight. Throughout this session, we will reference our partnership with Marian University, specifically the CLIPS Educators College. Marian serves as our licensing partner, which means that all of the transition to teaching hours required by the state will be fulfilled through their 6-semester program and coursework. So while fulfilling state requirements for certification, our fellows also earn their Master of Arts in Teaching degree at the end of 2 years. So a few fast facts about ITF. First is we have trained over 700 teachers since 2007, reaching over 56,000 students. Currently, ITF partners with Indianapolis Public Schools and charter schools in Center Township, Indianapolis. And then our fellows obtain, of course, their master's degree while earning their teacher certification. So in order to be eligible for the ITF program, there's a few things that you will need. First is that you will need to hold a bachelor's degree from a regionally accredited institution. Next, you're going to want to have a minimum undergraduate GPA of 3.0 or 2.5 plus 5 years of relevant professional experience for a graduate degree. So right here, I kind of want to pause because not having a 2.5 GPA does not automatically disqualify you from participating in the program, but that just means that you may have additional steps that are required in order for you to be admitted to Marian University. So just something to keep in mind. And when it talks about having 5 years of relevant professional experience, that is actually determined by the licensing department at Marian. Next, you should not have already had an Indiana issued transition to teaching permit. In addition to that, not have already had a professional teaching certificate from any state. So if you've had some type of temporary permit or certificate, that is totally fine. But in order to be eligible for our program, you can't already have a professional license in another state. You must also have any foreign transcripts evaluated by an approved agency. So if you have studied at a university or an institution outside of the United States, you're going to want to make sure that your transcripts have been evaluated. And then lastly, you're going to want to meet all of the legal requirements to work in the United States. Particularly to attend Marian University in our program, you will need permanent residency if you are not originally a citizen of the United States. So here you'll see our primary licensure areas. Fellows must choose one of the following content areas for initial licensure with the state. So the content areas that you see here were chosen because of higher need. Those are typically the higher need subject areas, but then also the coursework that's available with Marian University as well. So as part of earning your professional license, you have to take and pass 2 praxis exams related to your content area and your grade level. So if you see the grade levels here, that doesn't necessarily mean that for biology, for example, that you will be teaching all of those grades 5 through 12, but that is a secondary subject area. So you, with your license, will be able to teach grades 5 through 12. So the praxis content area exams correspond with each of these grade levels and content areas. So we won't spend a ton of time on testing tonight, but if you would like to learn more about the testing process, you can visit the Praxis website. That's ets.org/praxis/IN for Indiana. So next we'll talk a little bit about finances. So the primary financial commitment for Indianapolis Teaching Fellows is Marian University's tuition. So it's about $12,700 for the 2-year program, which equals 6 semesters at Marian. There are some resources that help to offset this cost in addition to the payment plans that you see there. Fellows are eligible to enroll in financial aid through FAFSA. The business department at Marian also can be helpful for figuring out, if there are scholarships available or grants and things like that. The other resource that we will highlight a little bit later in this presentation is our AmeriCorps program. So those who enroll in AmeriCorps for each of the 2 years are able to offset, fully offset the cost of their master's degree. So hiring. Our fellows are responsible for securing a teaching position with one of our many partner schools. And so I just want to cover a little bit about hiring. Again, this is very high level, not very detailed. So the first is that we partner with over 100 schools in Center Township. Right now, Center Township is the only township in Indianapolis that we're working with, but over the course of the year that may change. But right now you have your choice of IPS district and charter schools within Center Township. When you enroll, you'll be provided a comprehensive list of all of our school partners. And this changes, again, like I said, regularly. Schools are added, districts are added. So that's something that you'll just want to keep an eye on. Next, the typical hiring season is February through June. So it's important to be prepared for the hiring season as soon as possible. So once you start the enrollment process, we'll kind of walk you through what it looks like to get hired. And then during enrollment, we provide specific support with the hiring process in a number of ways. I'm just going to highlight a few of them. First is that we have a mandatory resume creation and review. So you will be required to create an ITF resume essentially, and then our team will review it, give you feedback so that it's at a place where you feel comfortable submitting it to our school partners. Then there's the opportunity to do mock interviews with myself or another TNTP staff member. And then throughout the enrollment period, we will host periodically ITF-sponsored hiring fairs. So the first one, if you aren't already hired at a school, will be mandatory. And then after that, you're more than welcome to join us for other hiring fairs throughout the enrollment period. So an ideal scenario is to be hired before pre-service training begins. So that first summer that you will spend in training with us is pretty intensive. We'll talk a little bit about it later, but it's about 6 weeks of really intense focus and work and fulfilling, that first semester of your master's program. So if you can get hired prior to pre-service training, we highly recommend that, just so that that's one less thing that you're thinking about, one less time commitment that you have. Now, I will say with that, if you aren't able to get hired prior to training, that's also okay. A lot of our school partners take interviews and things into the summer, but you will have to kind of work around your training schedule. And then lastly, you must be hired by the start of school in order to remain in the program. So depending on what school or school district that you are looking to work in, just keep in mind that in order to remain in our program, you'll want to be hired at a school. Next, I want to touch on just a little bit the Black Educator Excellence Cohort, or as we call it, BEEC. So this is a collective of first and second year fellows who identify as Black and African descent, and this is across all of our fellows programs. There are monthly and quarterly social and professional gatherings that you will be able to attend locally and regionally, but then also nationally across the programs. And then in your first 3 months of the program, there are 3 disbursements of transitional stipends just to kind of help get you started. And so this is not something that you will have to formally enroll in. If you indicate on your application that you identify as Black or African descent, you're automatically enrolled in the BEEC. There may be some other documents and things like that that will be required of you. For questions or more information about that, you can reach out to Rashay Foster, who is the senior manager at TNTP, who is responsible for the Midwest BEEC. So next we'll mention a little bit about TNTP AmeriCorps. So through our partnership with AmeriCorps, fellows lead service learning projects with their students, and this will help you earn grant funding that you can use toward really any higher education, but a lot of our fellows tend to use it for specifically their Marian master's degree. So there are several benefits that TNTP AmeriCorps members are able to enjoy during their year of service. So first is just learning to incorporate service learning and volunteerism in the classroom. You'll have an opportunity to put together a project with your students as part of your service year. And then with all of the AmeriCorps programs, not just TNTP, there is an opportunity for loan forbearance. So you can put your federal loans in forbearance during the time that you are serving as an AmeriCorps member, and AmeriCorps will pay the interest on those loans. And then lastly, at the end of your service year, provided that you are remaining in good standing in the program, you'll receive a around $6,800 in AmeriCorps education award at the end of the service year. And so again, you are able to defer your Marian tuition in order to apply those funds to your tuition. And then the required annual commitment to the TNTP AmeriCorps program is only 5 hours. So that includes your orientation, info sessions, the actual project that you do with your students, and then some surveys that will be required of you to complete. So the service projects reflect the passion, talent, and imagination of our fellows and their students. We really encourage our fellows to get their students involved in the planning and execution of their service learning projects. And then if you have questions about the AmeriCorps program, you can email americorps@tntp.org. I will note that the application for AmeriCorps for the 2024 service year doesn't open until the summer, and actually during pre-service training with ITF is when we will kind of delve into AmeriCorps a little more in depth, and you'll have the opportunity to apply. So next I want to talk about pre-service training. So during pre-service training, or PST as we call it, you will study proven teaching techniques that great teachers use every day to advance student learning. You can expect to practice these techniques intensively, both with peers and with real students in summer school classrooms. So pre-service training lasts typically about 6 weeks during the summer, so almost the entire summer. And then starting at enrollment, so enrollment begins from the time that you are accepted into ITF, leading up into the summer. You'll ground yourself in our 4 core texts. So this includes the opportunity myth through TNTP, culturally responsive teaching in the brain by Zaretta Hammond, Onward, Cultivating Emotional Resilience in Educators by Elena Aguilar, and then Teach Like a Champion by Doug Lamov. These can be purchased through most online retailers, and then the opportunity myth is actually a free download. So in addition to grounding in those texts, you will also focus on essential skills such as lesson planning. You'll receive coaching that is targeted to support you in specific growth areas identified from your classroom observations. And then at the end of your summer, your performance will be evaluated with a specific rating. So our instructors and coaches will prepare you to teach by focusing on mastery of foundational teaching skills before shifting into more advanced practices. So you must demonstrate an emerging proficiency in these fundamental skills by the end of pre-service training in order to earn a high recommendation for the fall. So this is just kind of a recap by way of timeline. So spring and summer 2024 is when you will get hired. You'll also complete pre-service training, summer 2024. In August is typically the time when all of our teachers begin teaching full-time. So you'll be earning, a full-time teacher salary with benefits, but also at the same time taking your Marian coursework. And then also during your first year is when you receive coaching support specifically from ITF and our coaches. You'll also be observed by TNTP staff members, both formally and informally. And then also during the first 2 years is when you will complete your master's coursework at Marian. I'll kind of highlight there is a bit of a transition from the first year to the second year. So the first year of the program is when you really experience the most ITF support. So you'll be meeting with your coach, you'll be observed, all that good stuff. And then from the first to the second year, there's kind of this handoff that happens between ITF and Marian. So a lot of the coaching support will then be transferred to Marian University and their staff. So the second year is really focused on kind of wrapping up all of your coursework. You'll be preparing to take your licensure exams, and then your coaching support will come from your Marian team. And then after that, of course, graduation, and then you'll apply for your professional teaching license at the end of your second year. So your next steps, we would love for you to apply as soon as possible tonight if you're ready, at apply.tntp.org, and then also feel free to connect with us. If you have questions, of course, you can email us at info@tntpteachingfellows.org. Our website is tntpteachingfellows.org. And then for Indianapolis Teaching Fellows, our handle is Indy Fellows across all social media sites. And so we are very excited that you are considering Indianapolis Teaching Fellows. Again, please feel free to reach out to us with any questions that you have. Thanks so much for joining us. Bye-bye.